Hello there, and welcome to Tarot and Attachment. My name is Erin Smith, and I am doing the week ahead reading for October 21st through the 27th. And I'm going to consult the cards and look for the prevalent themes throughout the week that might be beneficial for us to attend to. So I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to go silent. I'm going to concentrate while I shuffle, and I will be with you momentarily. I'm just going to say a prayer over these cards. So it looks to me like there are energies that are alerting us to being in some sort of process, a process of orienting ourselves towards the future as a result of letting go of some old habit patterns that are specifically coming up around relationships and emotions. And so we're looking towards kind of a new expression in the world. I'm going to start with this one. So the Eight of Cups, cups are really about matters of the heart. They represent our emotions. They're relational in their quality. Cups are love, emotions, intuition, and ultimately the Eight of Cups is about letting go of the past. And ultimately, this is a card of transformation. And it's a process. It is the story I usually tell with the Eight of Cups is that when a caterpillar spins itself a cocoon, in order to emerge as a butterfly, it first liquefies its body. So the reason that this is important is that what is being pointed to here is that we're in the process of a major metamorphic shift where we are being called to, or it simply is happening all on its own accord. we're being called to let go of all these old identifications completely, to dissolve these habit patterns. Again, specifically around how we feel, how we relate to others, and in the dissolution of this old way of being, there's an opportunity for things to come together in a new way. And of course, the implication of the symbolic resonance with the butterfly is that on the other side of this transition, we're being formed in a higher state of being. And yet, what I always like to consider whenever I'm in a transitionary phase in my own world, I like to keep in mind that it's a painful process often and frightening, quite frankly. It's hard to orient yourself when layers of self are being stripped away and you haven't quite formulated this new state of being. You can imagine what it feels like to be the caterpillar who is, disintegrating into goo. He does not know that every cell in his body is being repurposed for this higher state of being. So for him, it feels like death. And I think it's important to remember that oftentimes when we're in the midst of something that's painful or scary, that just because it feels bad doesn't mean it is bad. And it behooves us to sort of orient ourselves towards like a North Star, if you will. And sometimes that's aspirational, right? We aren't who we were and we're not quite where we're going, but how do we want to show up in the world? Again, what is our highest hope for what relationships might look and feel like? And so that's, brings us to the Ace of Cups. So aces are really like these archetypal representations of like their Plutonian forms. They're perfect in their nature. They're divine representations of the highest octave of an energy. And in this case, it's cup energy, right? It's sort of like being able to receive this divinely inspired feeling tone of love, compassion, connection to others, an ability to be ultimately forgiving and open-hearted. These are the kind of archetypes that go along with the Ace of Cups. And so again, you might imagine that letting go of some kind of relational patterns, presumably that weren't working, that didn't serve us, is helping us to orient towards a higher octave of what relationships might look and feel like. And that in some way, I believe that the aces are telling us that this is a kind of infinite energetic flow that is available to us when we are willing to receive it, when we are able to sort of clear the channel of who we think we are and remain open to who we might be. And so that's really being represented here as well by the Two of Wands. Wands are sort of representative of your life force energy. They're creative in their nature. They're active. They're fiery in their quality. And the Two of Wands is sort of like being at the very beginning stages of a journey. Again, going through the process of letting go of the past and sort of being on the brink of something new, but you have it's like unprecedented, right? You haven't accumulated any experience yet to the contrary in order to kind of concretize the new way. And so a lot of what this is about is just saying, like, trust the process, be willing to take the next right indicated step and to allow the path to unfold before us. And part of that is just like, okay, um, if we're moving away from the past, it's important to throw out the old maps because where we're going is different than where we've been. In fact, this is an energy that has come up in previous readings here. So we're, again, it's sort of asking us to imagine a better way of being, a better course of action, specifically in regards to the way that we relate to others and, you know, also to ourselves. And that we can start anew, we can have a different experience, and that there's a kind of excitement in this exploration. Like it holds a lot of possibilities. And you know, so much of the time, we as human beings refrain from taking actions unless we are certain of outcomes. And, you know, rarely do we have, you know, an idea of how everything is going to play out. Like when you're starting a relationship, for instance, you know, you're responding to some electric chemistry that's going on between the two of you. But the truth is that you don't have cumulative history. You don't have a myriad of experiences to see how you and this person are going to show up for one another. So you have to kind of take it on faith that that spark of interest can sort of move you along, can bind you to one another so that then there's enough substance there to develop into a stronger partnership. You know, you are able to see how it unfolds over time, right? When you're sick, do they show up for you? When you are feeling emotionally low, is there some concern for your well-being? Are you excited for one another and encouraging of each other's interests and explorations? It's like these are only things that one can see simply by showing up and letting things unfold. And so it's sort of asking us to trust the process, to move forward in good faith based on this kind of divine feeling or of what it might be like to be in love, to love someone or love our purpose, love what we're doing. And so here we have the Page of Pentacles. And again, pages are pointing to something new being born, something fresh, a fresh perspective, a fresh way of doing things that creates a brand new result. So pages represent new beginnings, new opportunities, and new people. And pentacles are about the physical, tangible ways that these new expressions formulate in the world. So people often associate them with money and career, but it's just kind of the tangible results, right? So if you are, you know, starting a new exercise routine, the pentacle energy would be noticing that you're getting stronger, right? You're able to lift more weight, or you have a greater endurance in terms of how far and you can run. So, you know, noticing these physical results is kind of the nature of pentacle energy. And what I love about pages is that they are kind of the archetypal child. Again, the beginning stages of life. Children are new to the world. And while they don't have, a plethora of experience to draw from in terms of knowing exactly how to navigate things, what they do have is a kind of that they are in the wonder of life. Everything is fresh. They have this fresh perspective. They're eager to learn. They're excited to understand things. And so they're just drinking in this life experience without a lot of bias. They tend not to be jaded yet. They haven't been battered and bruised by life. And so they're really taking things in. They're exploring with open curiosity. And this is what we're being called to do ourselves, explore all the possibilities and show up with an open heart. And you'll know if something is right for you based on the results as they start to unfold, as they start to transpire. And then, just to reiterate all of that, we have the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune, again, is very much pointing to the fact that this is a process that is ever unfolding, that we never arrive, spring always follows winter. So, after a period of stagnancy or dormancy, there will be new growth, there will be rebirth, but we will return to winter again, right? Once we've moved through all the seasons. So ultimately, the Wheel of Fortune is reminding us that we are in a constant state of flux. And it's important for us to not grasp at things, to not try to make things solid or fixed or certain, but to continue to stay present and notice where we're at, what is the stage that we're at in the cycle, and to have some equanimity with that and go with the flow, if you will. And what is the lesson to be learned at this stage of the development? And also to trust that things will continue to unfold, things will, when we don't stay children forever, we grow into adults, and that there are lessons all along the way as we move into adulthood. And then, we will in early adulthood, we will move into becoming elders, and, then we will eventually die. So, and then, in many spiritual traditions, the cycle starts over. So again, we're being called to embrace this idea that we're on the brink of letting go of old ways of being and starting out on a new path that will produce new tangible results, and to stay open-hearted, to connect to some kind of spiritual orientation so that we can be the highest version of ourselves in the world, and then to keep going. So I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope this message finds you well, and I wish you many blessings.